Hey y'all, it's your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Remember I moved to Oklahoma? I moved to Tulsa. Well, I'm here to give you a 7th month update and answer some questions that people have been asking me. So I am here to give you that life update. So I want you, if you're watching live, if you're watching on the replay, go to the comments, throw some questions down there so that I can do a real update for those that really want to know the intel. But stay tuned as I let you know if I really like it here or not. Hey, welcome back. Yes, it's your girl Tanisha today. And yes, I am still in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, I mean, I have to stay anyway because I have to do a year at least when you're dealing with Tulsa Remote. But I'm here to give you the update, to give you some intel. And I know that the people that are watching, some of you are on your way to Tulsa, you are preparing, you have applied, you had your interview. So definitely tap in. You see my Instagram down there below. I'm Tanisha Shanae. Hit me up on Instagram. A few of you have, and I love it. Continue to write your comments in this particular comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. But no matter what, let's get into the update. So yes, I have been here and I love it. Like, I think everyone who has been watching these updates, they're probably confused. Like, she left New York City and she loves Tulsa, Oklahoma. I do. And when I say to you, it's not that Tulsa has anything like super special, but it's just something that speaks to my soul. Like I did a video not too long ago, and it's on my TikTok and Instagram, and it basically was like I resonate with the energy here. I don't resonate with the energy back in New York City. And so when I made this, I took this leap. It was a huge leap. Everyone knows, how I had to drive 1,300 miles from New York City by myself, purchase the house. I'm doing a lot. So to actually get here, to be a part of the community, to me overall, it is, I would say 10 out of 10, maybe I would say it's like an 8. There's always room for improvement somewhere. So this is why I would never say it's perfect, but for me, it's perfect. The one tip that I want to tell anyone that's looking to move, whether it's Tulsa or any of the other programs that they have out there, right? And if you need to know, you can go over to Make My Move or makemymove.com. I'll put the link at the bottom. I'm not affiliated with them, but I want to give you the resources that will help you to make the best decision for you, right? The same way Tulsa Remote was perfect for me, I feel like we got to make sure that we have access to the information to make the best decision for ourselves. So, what do I like about Tulsa? So, of course, I still love the traffic. I love the fact that I can get to where I need to go, whether it's 5 miles away, 10 miles away, and I'm not sitting in an abundance of traffic. Now, the city is expanding, the city is growing. However, we are still not in like the process of sitting in 30-minute traffic. If you have ever heard me talk about New York, you have heard me mention how it will literally take me 2 miles to go from my house to my mom's house, and it can take me up to 45 minutes to go 2 miles. Like that's insane here. So that is definitely always going to be the highlight for me because it is definitely such a get back time. I'm literally having less stress because I'm not sitting here like worrying, am I going to be late for my appointment? Or, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to go one block and it's taking so long. Like, you're going to get a little bit of traffic, 2 minutes maybe. 2-minute traffic is equivalent to New York City, 45 minutes to go 2 miles. That's like the real reality. So that's like the definite, like the highlight of my entire point of being here. The other thing that I like, and this is just for me personally, and I keep talking about this with everyone, having access to nature, being able to just go outside and enjoy being outside on a consistent basis when I desire to do so. That is actually something that I was craving when I was in New York City. And I want you to think about it this way. when we're living in an apartment that does not have access to a balcony, because if you have a balcony, then you have a different understanding. You kind of get what I'm saying, because you can just go out onto your balcony, not unless you're like sharing, your neighbors are like right next to you. But in New York, I would have to put on clothes, prepare myself mentally, emotionally to communicate and speak to other people that are around me. And I'm literally like, I don't want to do this. Because I bought a house and I have access, I have my own backyard, I have my own front yard. When I just need to just like feel the sun, go outside, I'm able to just literally just put on my slippers, my sandals, and just step outside. I have grass. I make sure that I have a landscaper that comes every 2 weeks, and he clears out my grass and he makes it nice and pretty. And I'm able to go and take off my sandals and I can walk in the grass. That is something that is very healing. And so I say and I share that because I think so many times we forget like those little things, the things that are very important to us. Like we all need access to nature. And the more that we spend time in nature, we will start to see like, oh, this is very healing. Like this is actually something that I need. I need more of this. And I mean, some of you probably can't really tell because of the lighting, but I've gotten darker because I'm constantly in the sun. I'm constantly having access. We have parks on top of parks. Now, you probably have heard that USA Today has named Tulsa's Gathering Place as the United States best park, according to USA Today. But guess what? That's not even the only park that's here. We have so many parks. Like you can do trails, you can do hikes. Like the people that I hang out with, they literally will go I think they now probably go more often, but they used to go like every Saturdays, and that was a few days, and they go hiking. And they go to a park that is literally here in Tulsa, and it's not the gathering place. So even if you don't have a house and you don't have access to a backyard, and you still want it, it's really like less than 5-10 minutes, depending on where you're located in Tulsa. You are going to find someplace green. You are going to be able to find a park that's going to allow you to still enjoy all of that amazingness. And that's something that I just think that a lot of people don't take advantage of, because I've met some of the locals and you were like, oh yeah, so like what is your favorite park? And they're like, and I mean, I actually met someone who didn't even know about the gathering place, and they lived here for over 20 years. So it really just shows like there's a lot of hidden gems. And I feel like a lot of us who have like New York City, there's a lot that's going on in New York City. Even when I was there, I had no clue about, I didn't know anything about, I had no knowledge of it because it was not on my radar. But that goes to show you like how we can undervalue, you know what I'm saying, our communities, and we forget like there's a lot of great things that you can actually do. So for me, that has been one of the best things, because I just really have understood in the last like 7 years, like just being a part of nature, being in nature, going in nature often. It is such a healing thing. You're going to keep hearing me say this, such a healing thing. Okay. So I want you, if you are considering this, to think about that. Like, how much time are you spending in nature, especially if you're coming from big cities, right? How much time are you spending in nature? How do you feel energetically? What's your vitamin D levels looking like? I'm telling you, you come here, it's definitely going to improve if you utilize and take advantage of all that is available to you. And it's not like other cities. The parks here are free. So I have been in parks where if you want to go there and park, you're paying $20. We don't have that here. Not that I have experienced thus far. And even the gathering place, 100% free. So if you like nature and you need access to it, and if you're not going to buy a house, this is something that I'm going to give you a recommendation. Tap into one of these parks. Tap into one of the groups that does all of the different walking groups, and you're going to be able to just enjoy and get exposure to more of the nature that even I haven't even explored yet. It's 7 months. So The next thing I want to talk about, and this was actually an interesting one because it came up in a conversation like 2 months ago. They have anniversary celebrations for those that have completed their 1 year with Tulsa Remote. And they had a speaker. She was here for 3 years. And, she had made a statement like, I miss 24-hour supermarkets. I miss 24-hour Walmarts. And everyone was like, oh, there is a 24-hour supermarket. And again, this is someone who's been here for 3 years who did not know. So once I realized, like, oh, wait, I heard of the supermarket. I had never been, but I didn't know that they were 24 hours. And then I actually went. And I mean, this might sound small for some people, but I can honestly say, coming from, like, I've had access to supermarkets like Pathmark, Food Bazaar. These are places that I can go get everything that I need and literally not spend a whole bunch of money. That's this particular supermarket. It's called Winco, right? WINCO. It is a huge supermarket, 24 hours, and they're cheaper than Walmart and Resource. Like, legit. Great produce, great meat selections. You can go in there and get some amazing baked goods. They have good bagels that they sell. They have a whole bunch of goodies. And I say that because so many times it be small things such as access to 24-hour supermarkets or just access to quality supermarkets that will prevent someone from taking the leap. And y'all might say, Tanisha, no one is not leaving their neighborhood or their city or their state because of that. Baby, the number of people that have been in communication with me on social media, their first questions when they see that I moved to Tulsa, well, don't you miss the 24-hour bodegas? Don't you miss having a deli? I don't miss it. It never crosses my mind like, oh man, this is the time that I wish I had a bodega. I don't feel that way because I still have access to. See, I wasn't even going to the bodegas in my neighborhood in Brooklyn because a lot of them are closed. Like, call a spade a spade. A lot of them are closed. So I was always going to 7-Eleven anyway. So instead of me going to 7-Eleven, here I go to Quick Trip. Quick Trip is our Wawa. It's our 7-Eleven. And they're open 24 hours. So those are things that I'm like, I don't miss that. But then when I saw that we had this 24-hour supermarket, it was a game changer for me because if you know me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of shopping during peak hours where there's a lot of people. So I like to be able to go and drop in there at like 11 o'clock at night and get what I need to get, and I can go home and I'm back home in 15, 20 minutes. It is a little further down. I think it's on 71st and Memorial. That's that area. So if you are in Tulsa already and you didn't know that Winco was there you go. Merry Christmas to you. But I'm being serious. Like, I want us to realize we do have access to a lot of this stuff. So if you're looking for 24 hours and you think Tulsa doesn't have that, it does. It's just a hidden gem that is hidden in plain sight because the sign is bright. If you are going down Memorial and once you pass 71st, right past Chuck E. Cheese, there it is. You see the sign, and you might think is, maybe it's actually a wine place, because I did see that. I did think that it was a wine place, and you know what? It's not a wine place. So those are things that. Those little small things that I was starting to miss in the beginning, like maybe like month 3, 4, because I'm like, I miss going to this and getting all having choices, and I didn't have that. So I am very thankful that I stumbled upon that and I came across that gym, and I'm passing that on to you if that is something that you are also concerned about. So let's talk about some of the things that I'm not a huge fan of, because there's really nothing that I don't like about Tulsa, but there are certain things that I'm not a fan of. So I am not a fan of the fact that it is quite difficult at times to identify whether or not there's something going on. I will say Tulsa does not do the greatest, and this is not just the city of Tulsa, but these are businesses in Tulsa. They do not do the best at marketing. So there could be an amazing event happening. There could be an amazing place, but they don't, either they're not investing in advertisements, they don't know where to advertise, where to market their programs, their events. So it's like, unless they're using Eventbrite and you are accustomed to tapping into Eventbrite and logging into Eventbrite and staying ahead of what's going on, or you are tapped into social media and you follow some of the other pages that they will give you little gems saying, hey, this event is going on, this event is going on, you will really kind of be lost in the source, right? And I think that's also why a lot of people have been finding difficulty outside of Tulsa Remote do. But there's nothing to do, but there's a lot to do. You just don't know where to find this information because you're not tapped in. And honestly, Tulsa Remote does not even give us all of the events that are happening. They're just kind of giving the ones that have been partnered or they have reached out. They're not even giving us, we find stuff on our own. Like I said, Eventbrite, Facebook, Instagram, those are the places that I typically tap into, or just driving around. Like we'll drive around, we'll see, and I'm not saying we, I'm talking about like my homegirls, we'll be driving around like, oh, I saw this restaurant and it looked kind of popping, or we stopped in there and it looks kind of good and the food was good. All right, let's go try it again. Like we are just stumbling upon things because we are going outside. So this is my time to just put in this little TED talk for people who do not desire to go outside, but they want to sit and they want to complain, may I say, right? They want to complain about there's nothing happening. If you do not put yourself out there to go out there and find anything that's going on, you cannot say that there's nothing to do. And I've been hearing that a lot. From the time that I first moved here, before I even moved here, I was on the dating apps. And I'm honest, I was on the dating apps, and I remember I met a gentleman who had moved here, not through the Tulsa Remote program. He has just moved here for work, and first thing he said, "It's nothing to do here. It's boring here. There's nothing to do." And I'm like, "There's nothing to do." And so I understood I was going to have a different experience from him because he was not a part of Tulsa Remote. And I also knew that Tulsa Remote was going to give me exposure to things that he was not privy to. But when I told him, like, are you on social media? Are you checking out like hashtag things to do in Tulsa? Are you checking out hashtag Tulsa, Oklahoma? Like, if you play around with these different hashtags, different accounts will come up that will show you, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, this event is happening. These are the top 5 things that's going on this weekend. And he's like, oh, I never knew that. But if you're not seeking it, it's just like when we say we waiting for the man to come, and you don't go outside. What do you think it's gonna do? Just kind of show up at your doorstep? It's not. It's not. Even for those of you that are coming through the Tulsa Remote program, you might not. Tulsa Remote they put out a newsletter every week. Every week, with I would say at least 5 different things happening in that week. You can't find one thing to go to. You can't find one thing to do. You can't find anything. Like, come on. If you feel that way, then honestly, you're part of the problem and you're part of your problem. So yes, they do have difficulties and they are not the best at marketing. Like we don't have a Time Out New York, right? I always think about Time Out New York. We'll always have a section, things that's happening this weekend in New York. We don't have that. So you have to kind of go a little bit out your own way in order for you to find something. And it's not necessarily you, but you could do that from your phone. Like take your phone and find Eventbrite, download the app, go to Tulsa, and you will start seeing all the different events that are happening. Like you have to put forth effort. Okay. So yes, this is a message to business owners in Tulsa. Figure out a way to advertise and to market because everyone is not seeing your great events. They're not seeing it. They don't know about it. Everyone doesn't listen to the radio. Like we have one, I listen to hip hop R&B. We have one hip hop R&B station. They advertise different events that I still haven't seen anywhere else. And I'm like, this is kind of the problem. Like I see why people are a little frustrated. because everyone is not listening to the radio. They're either they're plugging in their phone, going to the auxiliary, and then they're like, so they're bypassing what is being shared. And I tell people that as well. So the last thing I'm gonna touch on, and two people asked me this: what is the dating life here? I'm gonna be honest, right? So it's funny, right? I have a small friend group, and we like tease each other, like, oh, this one is always going to professional development. This one, she's always buying something off of, like, Tulsa Remote has like their own marketplace. So similar to Facebook Marketplace, but we have our own. She's always like buying something, and so they was like, oh yeah, Tanisha's the one that's always going on dates, and I was like, oh, excuse me. But I can say I have been on quite some dates. I have met several dudes here that have actually been decent. Just didn't work out. But I will say I feel like there are just some guys here who, and I can't even say it's just a Tulsa thing. I think it's just men in general. A lot of men are just not healing. They think that they're healing. They think that, because they haven't been in a relationship for 2 years or 3 years, that, oh yeah, I'm healed, or, I'm healing. No, you just stayed by yourself. You just avoided people. You just have not interacted. But you went back on these dating apps and you're not ready for dating. And that's frustrating because as a woman who has done a lot of work, like, I've done a lot of work on my healing. I have done a lot of work just to make sure that I am, mentally, emotionally ready for the next chapter of my life. And when you go out here and you're like, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not looking for a relationship. It's like, you make you want to, like, but I don't. But, I have been able to find out about new restaurants and new places in the city because I have gone out and I have met some interesting people. So it's not the best. I can't say I came here, I met my Prince Charming, we are engaged, we getting married. I can't tell you that story yet. I do believe that he might be here or he might be close by. But I will say that, you know what? Don't depend on dating apps. Continue to try to go outside and engage in as many people as possible, and don't be discouraged if you don't meet someone who's ready, right? But I do encourage you, if you are that person who thinks that you're ready, make sure that you're really doing that work within, because there's a lot of amazing women here and amazing men here that are like truly ready. They have taken time, like years away from not being involved, not sleeping with people, and they are truly ready for their husband and wives. And they're not sitting around trying to give you a year to, like, okay, I'm gonna give you a year to work through your emotions and stuff. That's not fair. Get you a therapist. Okay, you can meet with me. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and I do work with people as they are navigating their journey through healing. So I can also assist you. I just can't date you and assist you. We can't do the same thing at the same time. We got to pick a battle. Okay, and I'd rather choose the battle of assisting you to the point where you can get that journey started. So I just like to say, it's a great place. I'm having fun. It is hot. Let me tell y'all, this is gonna be the last tip. It is hot, okay? When we came last August, it was 105 degrees every day that we was here. It hasn't been 105 degrees yet, but it's been hot. Like, I think the other day was like 101, feeling like 112. Oh, this is why you probably hear my AC in the back. I had to make sure I bought a house that had central air, because I was like, I'm not dealing with window units and all that other stuff, because it's just too much. Okay. But I personally just want you to go out there and find the life that's meant for you. If Tulsa is the place for you, awesome. Can't wait for you to get here. Make sure you look for me in Slack or find me on IG, because we don't know the future of TikTok, but find me on IG. And when you do that, ask me questions. Like, I'm always trying to go out to as many TR events. But if you see me in town, and people be like, hey, I saw you on House Hunters. Yes, I was on House Hunters. For those of you that missed that, I will put the information so you can find the season. I do not have a direct link, but I can give you the information so you can seek it out for yourself. But yes, I was on House Hunters, and that becomes a conversation piece. I want to have a conversation on here about buying a house, right? I met a realtor, want to open up those conversations so that people can start having this mindset. People can start seeing like how realistic is it for me to buy a house in Tulsa. Don't talk yourself out of that. And that's going to be another video because I see myself already quickly going that direction. But yeah, this is my life update. I am here 7 months and I still cannot believe it. But I can tell you it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Like, I'm so thankful that I actually took this leap. This is what I needed. So if you need something, then that's what you need to focus on, and you need to put yourself in the best position in order for you to experience that. And if I can give you any words, it was that word right there. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. And listen to this video if you are interested in working with me in that lifestyle coaching that I told you about. Check out what one of my clients actually had to say. And I hope to see you guys soon.
Hello. I wanted to come on and tell you about my amazing coach, Miss Tanisha Shanae, aka Miss Inspiration. She has been my coach for the past 2 months, and she has pushed me way outside my comfort zone. She has me doing things that I have not done before, being coached by her. You know, things that I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this. But she's like, you can do this. She encourages me. She inspires me. She motivates me. And she is just amazing.